Hello everyone. So the summer solstice has passed and summer seems to be slowly dwindling into autumn. I'm enjoying these days as much as I can, and a while ago I got to spend quite a lot of time visiting wildflower meadows and identifying different species that I've yet to learn. I hope you're doing well, and I really hope you enjoy this video. So earlier in the season I picked plenty of lady's mantle, and I also made this little wonky basket for collecting herbs in. So this plant is quite a beautiful herb. You can use the flowers, leaves and roots, and I usually just drink it as a tea. I'll just dry the parts of the plant that I collect, and the tea is quite good for heavy periods, and it generally makes for a rather soothing drink regardless of whether you have it cold or warm. I've also been making some broadleaf plantain oil. Actually, ribboard plantain is supposed to be more moisturising, but I just wanted to try the broadleaf one. Before infusing it, I dried the leaves and then I just poured some sweet almond oil on it, and I'm probably going to use the oil for some lip balm, but I will have to wait a few weeks until I can do that, and hopefully it'll go well. The elder blossoms have come and almost are gone already, but luckily I found the time to collect a bunch for cordial, and I also dried quite a few for some tea. Elders are quite magical trees which have many uses, but also are kind of surrounded by many stories and myths. As a tea, it helps great with hay fever, and I usually drink it with nettle, and it also encourages sweating, so it's kind of a great flu and cold remedy, especially if you have a fever. The cordial is absolutely delicious and it's super easy to make, but it's kind of quite a popular drink around this time of year, and there's plenty of recipes online that you can learn from how to make this, but I shall pop a little recipe down in the description as well if you're curious and want to try it yourself. Rosebay willow herb is another plant that I've been collecting, and this one is really quite common around here. You may also know it as fireweed. I like to use the leaves to make tea. You have them as a fermented leaf tea, and it's quite a good substitute for green tea, because that's the nearest sort of taste that is kind of similar to, I suppose. And you just kind of squish the leaves and put them in a jar to ferment, and then it's best left in a sunny spot, and then when it's done you can just dry the leaves as you would with any herb that you're going to use for tea. I also made quite a big pot of pinecone syrup, and this is a bit of an experiment for me. It seems to be going well until now. This is quite a while ago when I filmed this, but all you do is really just cover pine cones, fresh kind of green pine cones, in some sugar. You do have to use like green ones that are quite fresh because they have a high moisture content, and what will happen is that it will turn into a syrup basically, and it will start to kind of slightly ferment. And as far as my batch is going now, it seems to be fermenting, and I just shake it every now and then really, and I'll just wait until it's kind of fully syrupy and there's no more sugar in it. I obviously also had to make some St. John's Wort oil. This plant is genuinely pure magic, especially around midsummer night. You may know it as a herb that is used for treating seasonal depression, and it has very protective powers and is also quite strongly associated with the sun. When you're collecting this, it's best to collect the flower buds on a dry and sunny days, and those types of days are quite rare in Scotland. But I did happen to find one, and I'm basically making the oil with the buds, and the oil is beautiful because, I mean, even when you just squish the buds a little bit, you can see the sort of redness, and all you need to do to make it is pour any sort of oil. Like last year I used olive oil, but this year I'm using rapeseed oil, and you just pour it over the flowers and leave it in the sun, shake it every now and then, and once the oil has turned a bright red, then it's ready to use. I will probably use this to make some sort of salve, but the oil itself can just be used to help like aches and pains in your body. And yeah, it's just a wonderful plant, and it's one of those things that I recommend because it's so sort of easy to do and quite fun to see the transformation of. Before I end this video, I really wanted to share the Hedgerow medicine book. It's been very helpful in learning how to use plants that grow around here, and I genuinely highly recommend it if you are like interested in herbalism and foraging and finding out uses of plants. And lastly, I wanted to kind of talk a bit about my favourite plant at the moment, meadowsweet. Like willow, meadowsweet contains salicylic acid, which is also used to make aspirin, and I've been drinking this plant in cold water infusions a lot. But recently I made some meadowsweet glyceride, and this is basically like making a tincture, but it's like sugary, it's sweeter, and I don't really take tinctures, so this is a perfect way to do it. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you're doing well. Take care, and till next time.